So we have one more film, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tangled.
Yes.
Now, Tangled is the Disney spin on Rapunzel. It's pretty much their first traditional fairy tale take in almost 20 years.
Almost 20 years. You know who steals this movie? The Short Thug.
There's a guy in this movie named Short Thug.
Short Thug.
The movie is obviously based on Rapunzel, and it is fairly...
It was originally called Rapunzel.
That's true.
And they changed the title because they didn't think that it would market well with young boys.
That is true.
Obviously, we have a more misogynistic generation of young boys.
That was seriously why they changed the name?
Yes.
Yes.
It wasn't a legal thing?
No, it was because we now have a more misogynistic generation of young boys than when we had The Little Mermaid.
Or Beauty and the Beast.
Or Beauty and the Beast.
This is ridiculous. Okay.
So... it's fairly consistent with the Rapunzel story, which is Rapunzel is kidnapped as a baby and forced to live every day of her life in this tall, tall tower, and she's lorded over by this sort of evil woman who kidnapped her. She's actually the daughter of the king and queen, but she winds up being kidnapped, and she lives in this tall, tall tower every day of her life for 17 years, and she wants nothing more than to get out of this tower. But the evil mother, the evil stepmother, who is, of course, is very manipulative, she tries to convince Rapunzel to stay in the tower because the outside world is so big and bad. So let's take a look at a clip, and then we'll talk about it some more.
Rapunzel, how you manage to do that every single day without fail. It looks absolutely exhausting, darling.
Oh, it's nothing.
Then I don't know why it takes so long. Oh, darling, I'm just teasing.
All right. So, Mother, as you know, tomorrow is a very big day.
Look in that mirror. You know what I see? I see a strong, confident, beautiful young lady. Oh, look, you're here too. I'm just teasing. Stop taking everything so seriously.
Later, obviously, Rapunzel leaves the tower and has an adventure with this rakish bandit named Flynn Rider. And the two of them go off together to have all sorts of cool laughs and a halfway decent Alan Menken score. Not my favorite Alan Menken score, but it's still okay. And I like this movie a lot. You know what? I didn't expect much going in. I kind of thought it would be lame. But I walked in there, I sat down, I was swept away. I thought it was quite good. Mandy Moore, who does the voice of Rapunzel, is very good, very expressive. She's not necessarily the greatest singer in the world, and when you hear Donna Murphy, who's a classic Broadway actress, Donna Murphy plays the sort of the evil stepmother. She belts it out. She is fantastic. And what I liked about the movie is that it sort of straddles that line between classic Disney animation and Pixar, because here you have a movie that what's gone is all that snark and all those pop culture references that you really got sick of with movies like Shrek. And here it's just sort of traditional Disney animation. It's a little modern, so it's a little modern in some of the dialogue, so it's not going to be a classic Beauty and the Beast sort of tale, but I liked it a lot.
I liked it a lot. I think I may have liked it more than you. I think it's about 70% Beauty and the Beast. It's about 70% of that feel, and then the rest, they're marketing it much more as something like Shrek, which I think is a mistake, and I think it's really odd. Apart from changing the title, can you imagine if The Little Mermaid had been called, Something's Fishy? It just, would that work? No. I mean,
it sounds misogynistic.
Exactly. It should have been still Rapunzel, and Rapunzel would have been more true to what this film is. It really has, it feels much closer to that. I'm glad they brought Alan Menken back. He still hasn't recaptured that magic of when he worked with Howard Ashman. Howard Ashman is one of the great lyricists of all time, and his death was such a tragedy. So he's been, going through a lot of different lyricists in all these different films. And I think he's connected with a guy here whose name I can't remember, but it's a better working relationship. This is good. The songs are good. The score is really good. I understand why they decided to go 3D animation instead of just regular cell animation. I might have liked it more if it were cell animation, but even still, I thoroughly enjoyed the film and had a great time with it.
That's the interesting part where Disney's intention was to make a CG film that looks hand drawn.
Yeah.
And of course, in that case, why not just just make it hand drawn.
Exactly.
You know, but it looks good.
It does.
The expressions are great, and you know what? Now we're finally in an era where you could really see Rapunzel's hair.
Yeah.
Every inch of it.
Yeah.
You know, detailed, and it looks great. And you know what? And there's some terrific, and the way they use the hair. It's funny because once they get farther into the story, you start to wonder, you know, how are they going to animate this hair more? They wind up getting out of that in a clever way, where
Very
they sort of
clever
tie
way.
her hair up in a bow because they can't take it anymore. They had to animate 70 feet of hair for an hour and a half.
But this is a really terrific script. I got to say that it is a very sharp script. It does what Beauty and the Beast did very well, which is taking a fairy tale, the sum total of which you can really recount to somebody in about 2 minutes. I mean, the story of Beauty and the Beast and the story of Rapunzel take no time to tell the classic fairy tale details of. So how do you take that little threadbare story and inflate it to something 90 minutes in length without it feeling like you're just blowing a lot of air into a very simple story? Well, you have to add a lot of details and complications. You have to change a few things. And there you run the risk of kind of betraying the spirit of the original story, which has happened on many occasions. But in Beauty and the Beast and here, I think they were very, very, very cool, very faithful to the original material. They were very careful in how they made changes. And I think they pulled off a wonderful film for the holidays.
Right, but it's still, even though that's right, it's still fun. I mean,
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
You know, Beauty and the Beast and Lion King, obviously they're classics,
Yeah.
but they're not quote unquote this rollicking good time. I think that Tangled
Yeah,
tries
that's
to be more of that rollicking good time.
A little bit.
So I think you sort of lose some of that classic feeling that you got from these other films. You know, but that being said, it's still a terrific film.
I agree.
So we were pleasantly surprised
Very.
by Tangled. All right, so there you go. Wait, so those are the 4 films we have: Harry Potter, Next 3 Days, King's Speech, and Tangled. My pick, King's Speech. Go. Your
Oh
pick.
yeah, easy. King's Speech for sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that is This Weekend in Movies. There you have it.
Wow.